This isn't going to work well.
It's fun.
Hey, thank you for joining me today in my hobby room for part 2 of our 3-part vacation mini-series. As many of you know, Cindy Brown, the First Lady of Model Railroading, and myself decided to sort of slow roll it through August, kind of enjoy some of the summer, do some traveling, get some errands done and stuff like that. So the videos are coming a little slower right now, but that does not mean I've stopped working on the railroad. Actually, quite the opposite is true. I've been having a blast out here doing all kinds of different stuff. And some of the highlights you're going to see in coming weeks are as part of a Model Railroader Video Plus episode. I went ahead and laid all the track for the Brownsville yard right over there, and of course for the port. Now I can't show you all of that because it's an MRVP exclusive piece of content, so make sure you tune in there. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do it. But when I get to actually detailing out that yard, you guys are going to get to be a part of that. We'll go through that together. In the background of this shot, you're going to see that I am running the longest train I have ever run on my model railroad. It's 4 5-car spine cars plus a couple of well cars at the end. And it just looks so awesome traveling around the layout. That's why I built this thing. 2 things. One was to get some rail fanning done. One was to have more switching operations and stuff. So that's pretty cool. I also went through and connected Switch Junction to the main line as well as the coal mine module to the main line. I did that by taking some cardboard and loosely weaving it together using some hot glue to hold the cardboard in place. Laid some plaster cloth over it to get a basic shape, but then I'm going to sculpt a mold over the top of that. We're going to see some of that on video. I'm going to take you through some of that on that journey as well. That really long train that I was talking about is another project I was working on. It has no problem coming up my grade in the back to get up to the top deck. Problem is when it's coming down, a lot of weight and all those cars, and I'm suffering a little derailing problem right up by the locomotives that I'm working on sort of a brake just to hold the tension of the cars on its way down. Once I perfect that, if I perfect that, I'll show that to you as well. And then of course, coming up, our next major component that we'll have regular weekly updates on is going to be right here in Fertile Valley, finishing up this orchard. I am going to scratch build an orchard packing shed from wood, have a corrugated roof. We're going to light it, fully detail the interior. We're going to have some billboards, a road, some cars. It's going to be really awesome when we're done. But until then, something I'd like to show you today is I took some store-bought wireframe trees that frankly look just a little bit lame. I used to have them on the layout, but I didn't want to use them again on this layout. What I wanted to do is have something more spectacular, and I think I've pulled that off. So if you got about 5 minutes to share with me, let me take you through how I did it, and then I'll see you on the other side. Well, there you go. That's how I took some average wireframe trees and refurbished them into something really spectacular. They look really awesome on the layout. It only took me like a couple hours to make 30 of those trees. So I'll bet that if you got some trees lying around somewhere and you don't like the way they look, you can do that very same thing to make them look as cool as these do. I wasn't really too worried about the trunk still looking like wire because I sunk them right into the branches and you can't even tell. They just look really good. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to show you a video of how I landscaped all of this and made it look as cool as it does if I don't say so myself. But until then, thank you so much for joining me today on It's My Railroad. And until next time, my name is Steve Brown. Rail on, my friends.